Going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of All Things Driving. If you're new to the channel, it's your host Rashid White. All right, let's get into it. You guys see the graphics, you see the actual title. 4 Texas women that were going on a road trip was actually killed by a semi driver, and we're hearing a lot more of these accidents. I don't know whether it is the lack of training or people do get the training and they don't realize the serious nature and the damage that these tractor trailers can actually really do. But let's not waste any time and let's get into the actual story here. All right, you guys and gals actually see it here. Deaths of 4 women who were killed on the road trip after getting a flat tire was preventable, families allege. And we're going to look at it from both spectrums, because I don't want to say, okay, it's the truck, it's entirely the truck driver's fault, or it's entirely, you can actually look at the actual women in itself. If you get a flat tire, especially like on the interstate, pull the car off to the side of the road, because you never know whether, and you don't know if this truck driver was actually distracted or not. He could have had a medical episode behind the wheel, a heart attack or a stroke or a seizure or something like that. We don't know. So it's always best to actually really pull the car off to the side of the road. You see why when police pull you over, they actually get on the right side of the car and not the left side of the car, because of situations like this happening. And we've seen this on numerous videos of cops actually really getting hit and sometimes killed, in like the similar circumstances where like a truck that's not paying attention, or a car that's not paying attention, or someone has a medical episode, they can just actually strike the officer. So it's important to really kind of like pull the car off the road, far off the highway is, the best that you actually really can. Let's get into the actual news article here.
And now to a heartbroken Stafford family preparing to honor a 19-year-old killed on a road trip with friends.
The DPS says a driver of a semi failed to control his speed, causing the crash that took 4 lives.
It happened on Highway 87 just south of Dalhart in the Panhandle. Tracy Bragg spoke with the teen's family, who is preparing for a balloon release in her honor.
Today, a family is preparing to gather to honor the life of a 19-year-old gone way too soon.
She was just perfect. She was my little sister. That was like my little mini-me.
Tamika Gonzalez says Lakeisha Brown and 3 of her friends, Mayunique Johnson, Brenna Brantley, and Taylor White, were all tragically killed during a road trip a week ago today.
My heart don't want to go out to my daughter. It goes out to the other 3 families. And it's just a tragedy. It's tragedy stuff.
DPS investigators say the crash happened along U.S. Highway 87, 10 miles south of the town of Dalhart in the Texas Panhandle. According to the DPS report, the women were driving slowly due to a flat tire when the driver of a semi-truck failed to control his speed, leading to him crashing into the back of their vehicle.
These were some beautiful young ladies with bright futures ahead of them, tragically cut short, and answers and justice.
Now, DPS telling me today that at this point, the driver of that 18-wheeler is not facing any charges as this investigation continues. Meanwhile, Lakeisha's family telling me that today, probably in the next 10 or 15 minutes, they are planning a balloon release in her honor right here at this park here in Stafford. I'll send it back to you all.
My heart hurts for them, especially as a mother of a 19-year-old daughter myself. We certainly hope they take some solace in the community, putting their arms around them this evening. Tracy Bragg with a difficult story. Thank you.
Yeah, he must have hit them pretty hard to really, kill all 4 women, man. I mean, they're going to be looking at a lot of different things, and they're going to get access to his cell phone, and he hasn't been charged yet. But if they find out that he was actually texting and driving, and with today's technology, they more than likely really could, then, it's more than likely that this truck driver is going to actually face some vehicular manslaughter charges. I'm pretty sure the DA is really looking into that. I don't know, these truck drivers, you guys have to take it real seriously. If you're texting, like, just pull over, drive slowly. And this is the thing, when you're driving a tractor trailer, a lot of times you just don't expect people just to be driving slowly or either park, in the middle of a road like that. But you have to look 12 to 15 seconds ahead at all times and identify hazards. And you're a professional driver. They paying you pretty much to actually see things, observe things, and you have to pinpoint hazards way in advance. There's no excuse unless he had like a medical episode to really crash into these women and take all their lives like this. This is crazy. And you're hearing a lot of these stories coming from truck drivers. You may have to go back to transporting things by the railroad, man. It's definitely cheaper. I was a truck driver too, but I mean, you're hearing like so many of these like companies, they're desperate for drivers, and it's just pretty much getting anyone to actually operate these vehicles, and when they're not operated properly, it can cause a lot of devastation. And I think I was looking at the crash photos here, man. I mean, the truck was actually totaled. He didn't even really look like he even applied his brakes. So I don't know, man. We'll follow up on this story here, and we'll see what the outcome is, and do an update if they found out that he was actually probably texting behind the wheel. They can actually test for like different medical episodes that the driver actually had, and if that was the case, if he had a medical episode, I don't know if you can get a lawsuit unless they did like a DOT examination and they knew he had heart problems or he had a seizure, or possibly, like let's say if the driver was actually had what's the word? What is it? It's actually like let's say an irregular heartbeat, which can actually cause you to pass out if it's not diagnosed, in a frame of time. So sometimes the driver can actually lie. So there's like a big investigation that actually has to happen here. And sometimes it's not really on the trucking company in itself. So they definitely filed a lawsuit against the truck company. Now this truck company was this was like an owner operator, was leased to this company. So I don't know. But it looks like, I was looking at more to this story. The driver had multiple traffic violations for, I believe it was running a red light allegedly. A lot of other numerous traffic violations. So that stuff is actually going to come into play when it comes to a lawsuit, because it's like, hey, what type of standards do you actually have when it comes to employing drivers? Now, the tractor trailer industry, like I said, the trucking industry is competitive, man. And you have these big companies like JB Hunt, Snyder, Warner, Swift, and here you have this little trucking company, and you're just trying to compete. So you got to just get drivers out there. Nobody really wants to do this job, man, because you're out there on the road constantly, and you don't really get a chance to see your family. You don't really have much of a love life. So sometimes the standards actually has to get lowered. So I will wrap this video up. Definitely like, comment, subscribe. And before I actually go, if you're a truck driver, this applies to people in cars too. Just constantly look 12 to 15 seconds ahead, constantly looking for hazards. Stop car in the road, you actually have to hit the brakes and slow down to a safe speed and try to get around that vehicle or stop. All right, don't just assume anything that they'll probably move or all right, so definitely like, comment, subscribe, and certainly share the video. When you share, the universe certainly shares back with you.